Hello there, everyone. This is Forrest coming at you. It's time for your Just for Today encouraging word. God's will or mine? Do you know how to tell the difference between God's will or your will? Sometimes I have much difficult finding out, but I do know whenever I get aggravated and it's the growing way, it's usually His way. So I know His will is better than mine because my will got me close to death first. Here we go. We continued to take personal inventory and when wrong, promptly admitted it. Uh-oh. Isn't it fun to promptly admit when we're wrong? No. We continue to take personal inventory. To take personal inventory, you got to check yourself and what you're doing, and if you're in the right relationship, or if you're in the right work, or if you're treating people right. So you take your personal inventory, because if you're growing or you're sliding back, if you haven't been going to meetings, if you're doing okay, how's your relationship with the Lord? How are you talking with Him? Are you talking with Him? Do you promptly admit when you're wrong? When you promptly admit you're wrong, you're on the right path. It's hard, but that's the best way to do it. In Narcotics Anonymous, we found that the more we live in harmony with our higher powers, the more we live in the harmony with God's will for us, the greater the harmony in our lives. Could you imagine that? Hello? The more we live in harmony with God's will for us, the greater the harmony, the greater the peace in our lives. God's will, He created us. He's going to know best for us. We use the 10th step to help us maintain that harmony. On a daily basis, we take time to look at our behavior. Do you take time to look at your behavior? Some of us measure each action with a simple question. Is this God's will or mine? In many cases, we find that our actions have been in tune with God's will for us. And we in turn have been in tune with the world's will. We find that our actions have been in tune with God's will for us, and we in turn have been in tune with the world around us. In some cases, however, we will discover inconsistencies between our behavior and our values. Values are something when you're growing up, you get them ingrained into you. I know that there's many things that I had to change, and there's still some leftover. I call it leftover bandages. Like when Lazarus came out of the tomb, when Jesus raised Lazarus from the dead, He said, "Lazarus, come forth." And when Lazarus came forth out of the tomb, He told the disciples, remove his grave clothes. So whenever a cuss word flies out of my mouth, or whenever angry thought, something like that, that's my old stinking thinking. That's my old grave clothes that I'm still trying to get rid of. So we've been acting on our own will, not God's will, and the result has been dissonance in our lives. I'm not sure what the word dissonance is, but I'll look it up next time. But I'm sure it's close to like we're having not a good time in our life. When we discover such inconsistencies, we admit we've been wrong and take corrective action. If you just say, "Hey God, sorry about that. Please show me the way I need to go." With greater awareness of what we believe God's will for us to be in such situations, we are less likely to repeat those actions. When you know you're going down the wrong path, okay, Lord, I know I'm going to change my ways. And we are more likely to live in greater concord with God's will for us and with the world around us. Today, just for today, I wish to live in harmony with my world. Today, I will examine my actions, asking God's will or mine. So to live in harmony in my world, I know I have to be walking in God's will for my life. And then the peace will come. But don't live in the world's ways, because the world tells you, hey, do what feels right. If it feels right, do it. No, because I know God's will for me is not going to feel right sometimes, because I need to be honorable and respectable sometimes. And when someone disrespects me, sometimes I have to say, hey, why'd you do that? It's not really nice. And if they get cussing at me and flipping off the mouth, I'm going to have to say, you know what? I think we're going to have to talk tomorrow because this isn't going to end up good if I open my mouth. I got to go. And just peace out. So examine your actions daily to see if it's God's will or your will. Hope you have a great day. Talk to you later. Bless you. Bye.